radio station. It's Thursday from Citrus Park to Bayonet Point and all around Tampa Bay, plus worldwide on iHeartRadio.
The gloves are off. I'm playing hardball. It's 4th and 15, and you're looking at a full-court press.
You're tuned into the voice of the Tampa Bay sports fan.
You're going to like this guy. He's all right. He's a good fella. He's one of us.
Buckle up, because you're on the drive with TKras. Afternoons on 95.3 WDAE and AM 620.
Welcome aboard on this Let It Ride Thursday. Good afternoon, Tampa Bay. The Drive with TKras, Tom Krasnicki, presented by Moss Nissan, is on the air. Great to have you with us. Executive producer Chris Mathis riding shotgun. And we are so glad to have you with us live in living color on the FM side at 95.3, the mighty AM 620. And don't forget to download the iHeartRadio app for free. Crystal clear reception through the app. Take us with you wherever you might be headed this holiday season. Put us right through your Bluetooth. Truckers for TKras, you know where it's at.
It's exciting!
It is exciting. Crystal clear reception through the app. Download the iHeartRadio app. You can also, if you're like me, you like the holiday music, you can create like holiday music guest lists and that sort of thing. The iHeartRadio app has got it. So check it out. And good afternoon to all of you watching us. We're streaming the show on YouTube, Facebook, and X at 953 WDAE and AM 620. Like and subscribe all day, every day. The phone numbers, you know them, you love them. Now use them. Plenty of ways to get interactive on this program. 888-546-4620. You can also text in your thoughts on the Bartow Ford DAE text platform at 82945. Where standard message and data rates do apply. And all guests will appear via the Central Florida Behavioral Health Network DAE hotline. And we've got a star-studded guest list. We do every day on this show. Everyone wants to come on this show. Nobody wants to come on your show. They all want to come on this show. In about 8 minutes, the Hall of Famer Dwight Freeney. Yes, sir, one of the great pass rushers of our generation. Hall of Famer. He will join the show. He's going to be part of this extraordinary golf event that is going on at Innisbrook. It's taking place next week, December 12th through the 14th. That's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I believe. And it's called the Pro Cup. So this is a golf event, and you heard Tim Brown, another Hall of Famer. He joined me yesterday. Tim Brown's going to be a part of this. Dwight Freeney's going to be a part of this. Basically, it's going to be a Ryder Cup-style match play format, and it's divided up into 4 teams. Legends from hockey, baseball, football, basketball. Those 4 teams will go head-to-head over at Innisbrook. It's going to be awesome. So the football team is captained by Jerome Bettis. Tim Brown, who was on with us yesterday, he's going to be playing. Mark Rippon, Patrick Peterson, Dwight Freeney, who's going to join us in about 6 minutes, comprises that team along with some others. The hockey team has Jeremy Roenick as their captain. Brett Hull, Ryan Getzlaff, Joe Pavelski are the headliners for the hockey squad. And then you have the baseball squad. Their captain is John Smoltz, who, by the way, will join us in studio on Monday. Plenty to talk to him about. Vince Coleman is among those baseball players that are going to be participating. Then you have the basketball team, captained by John Barry, Danny Ainge, Thunder Dan Marley, Ray Allen, one of the great shooters in NBA history, Tony Kukoc. Remember him? He's coming here. He's going to be a part of it. Boy, I remember growing up, you know, the Bulls in the 90s, you had Jordan and Pippen, and they didn't care for Tony Kukoc, and this was talked about in the Last Dance documentary. But the general manager and the owner at the time, they were head over heels. It wasn't Jerry Reinsdorf. The general manager, Jerry Krause, I think his name was. He was head over heels in love with Tony Kukoc, and Jordan and Pippen didn't like it. When they played against him in the Olympics, they stuck it to him, and then next thing you know, he was one of their teammates. So, really interesting stuff. But we're going to talk to Dwight Freeney coming up in 5 minutes. He's going to join us here on the program. We're going to get his thoughts on today's NFL. on how quarterbacks are treated today. The Aziz El-Shire 3-game suspension that was upheld, and a terrible look, by the way, by that young man. Going on social media, you want me to be a villain, I'm going to be a villain. You're a clown, is what you are. It's appropriate for you to put Joaquin Phoenix dressed up as the Joker, which some of you are too, by the way, on the text platform. You want me to be a villain, I'll be the villain. What an asshat. You take your medicine like a man because you've been fined repeatedly for egregious hits. Dirty hits. You had a track record there. That's why you got pinched. Stay off social media. Stop posting stupid stuff, okay? Because I'm telling you, once he comes back, he's going to be a target for some of these teams. I guess he's supposed to be like this generation's version of Vontaze Burfict. Remember when he laid out Antonio Brown? I just think it's dumb the way some people try and portray themselves. And, you know, he goes on social media. He has a stupid post after he lost his appeal. Radio silence, dude. Just go away. Go into seclusion. Don't come out until your suspension is up. Maybe you'll learn something from all of this. That man, by the way, Alex Golesh, he's in a laughing mood because for the second straight year, he's got the USF Bulls in a bowl game. They're in the Hawaiian Bowl. Is that what it's called? I'd call it the Hawaiian Punch Bowl.
Yeah, you did call it the Hawaiian Punch Bowl yesterday, which
you ever
I do like Hawaiian Punch.
You like Hawaiian Punch?
Yeah.
I drank that stuff like nobody's business when I was a kid, but it's just filled with sugar. Now, you look back now and like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I drank that stuff.
That's all it is. It's pure sugar.
Sugar. Soda, pure sugar.
The Hawaii Bowl.
The Hawaii Bowl.
Yep.
Who are they playing? Our Sisters of the Worthless Miracle?
Come on,
man. We're going to talk to Alex Golesh at 5:05 about the Hawaiian Bowl. Rick Stroud will be with us at 4:05. We're going to talk Bucs and NFL with him, Bucs and the Raiders. Liam Cohen met with the media today. We're going to get into that in a matter of moments. We got Let It Ride coming up. Big game tonight, Thursday Night Football. Oh, baby, I can't wait for this one. Lions hosting the Packers in Detroit, and we're going to talk about that on Constructing a W. We're going to talk about that on our Let It Ride segment. The Lightning are in action tonight against the Sharks, so there's a lot on the sports schedule here tonight. Dwight Freeney, the Hall of Famer, will join us in a matter of moments. But before we get to that, what about the Bucs and what they're doing offensively? And can it carry over to Sunday's game against the Raiders? That is the theme of our opening drive.
Start the engine. Gas to the floor. Here's the opening drive.
Well, there's nothing to grunt about, Todd Bowles. You've won 2 in a row. You got lucky last week, and now the Buccaneers have themselves an inferior opponent coming in here on Sunday in the 2-10 Las Vegas Raiders. And Liam Cohen, the offensive coordinator, met with the media today, and he was asked repeated questions about how he's using the running backs, and I thought he was kind of interesting and a little coy maybe with some of his responses. Like when they get down into the red zone, which running back should you use or do you want to use down there in the red zone? Here's Liam Cohen talking about that.
If you go run, and you don't score, and now you're 3rd and 9 on the 9, well, those chances of scoring on that play aren't as high. So it's a give and take. Like you want to go and run and impose your will in the red zone to score, but you also have to make sure you get in the end zone. So it's a little bit of a dicey situation, as well as the field closing a little bit more as you get tighter and tighter.
It was an interesting answer, basically saying, Nunya, I'm going to use whatever running back I want to use, and I'm not going to lay my game plan out for everyone to see. Oof. Now, that's how I took that. And then he was asked about his running backs. Rachaad White and Bucky Irving. Sean Tucker right now is not an option. A former NFC Offensive Player of the Week, by the way, Sean Tucker, after the win against the Saints a few weeks ago after the hurricane. And then this week, Bucky Irving, NFC Offensive Player of the Week. And Cohen was asked, hey, are you, like, very mindful about the work that you're distributing to both of these running backs? Here's Liam Cohen on that.
a little like you just more so what's the give and take between how much is too much, more so from a mental standpoint. Also, okay, what can they handle from a physical standpoint? Our trainers and everybody does a really good job of letting us know where they're at, how many snaps, what's the goal this game, and we try to stay collective with that.
And I think the smart thing for the Buccaneers is to do this. Bucky Irving, and I love him. I know you guys love him. He's been tremendous. Last week, he had 25 carries. We know he's got a hip issue. He's got a foot issue. He had 28 touches last week. So he's not the biggest guy in the world. If I'm the Buccaneers, I'm going to integrate more of Rachaad White because I want to keep Bucky Irving healthy. We're entering week 14 of the NFL, and we're getting to the time of year where no one's 100%. So I think it would behoove the Buccaneers to kind of scale back Bucky's reps so that he's fresh for the fourth quarter and for the rest of the season. So I would play it 50-50, honestly, until you get down to crunch time, third down, red zone, fourth quarter, where you're really going to need the rookie from Oregon to come through with some big plays. All right, your calls and texts are coming up. We'll talk more Buccaneers in just a little bit. Rick Stroud a little bit later on at 4:05. Alex Golesh, USF head coach, will be joining me at 5:05. It is The Drive with yours truly, TKras, Tom Krasnicki. And let's go to the Central Florida Behavioral Health Network DA hotline. Learn more at cfbhn.org. We continue our football talk with one of the best pass rushers of our generation. Hall of Famer Dwight Freeney is with us here on The Drive. He's going to be a part of the Pro Cup, an incredible golf tournament that will take place at Innisbrook in Palm Harbor next week. And Dwight joins me here on The Drive. Dwight, welcome to the show. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I appreciate a few minutes of your time. You're going to be a part of this Pro Cup. We talked to one of your teammates, Tim Brown, another Hall of Famer, yesterday. He's all excited about coming down here for this Pro Cup. Now, you guys have been working on this for a while. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a thing that all these retired athletes and would love to, have, which is a tournament. It's something that we can kind of dump our competitive juices into. A lot of us love the game of golf. A lot of us, play, Lake Tahoe and different events throughout the year. So this kind of fits perfectly with, kind of how we want it to be, as in retired athletes go out and compete on the golf course. So we're all excited about this.
I'm sure you are. How often do you play, and what's your handicap?
Probably too much, if that's a thing. I'm playing 4 or 5 days a week.
4 or 5,
36 a day.
I like it. All right.
Yeah, a lot of rounds, probably too much. And I'm mid single handicap, so I'm around 6.
All right. Listen, you got some game. We're looking forward to having you over at the Innisbrook Golf Course, which is beautiful over in Palm Harbor. Let's talk some football. Obviously, you spent most of your career with the Colts. You were part of some great rivalries when it came to, Peyton Manning against Tom Brady, and they had some legendary matchups in the regular season, also in the playoffs. But, you have so many memories to choose from. Is there one that really stands out from the rest for you?
Well, for me personally, it's an obvious pick. It's AFC Championship game in 2006, where we beat the Patriots to go into the Super Bowl. A lot of our teammates, describe that game as, the best game they ever played in and their favorite game they've ever played in. And we played in a Super Bowl and won one. Mm-hmm. So that tells you how special that game was. The energy and the electricity in that stadium, that game was unbelievable. I mean, I could be sitting right next to you and couldn't hear you. You have to lip read. Couldn't hear a word that you're saying, and that's how loud the RCA Dome was in 2006. So that's one thing that will always stick out.
Hall of Famer Dwight Freeney, 125.5 sacks in his illustrious career. He's with me here on The Drive. He's part of the Pro Cup golf tournament that will be here at Innisbrook next week. Get your tickets at theprorivalsopen.com. And I'm sure you watch, in between your rounds of golf, the 4 or 5 times you play a week, I'm sure you watch a lot of football, Dwight. And, when you look at today's pass rushers from T.J. Watt to Myles Garrett to Micah Parsons, are there any that catch your eye in terms of technique? I mean, you were the master of the spin move, right? So are there any guys out there that you have to actually sit down and like, okay, I need to watch this guy because he's electric?
Yeah, man. You know what? There's so many guys, man, now. And you see, and as I sit there and I look at like some of the moves that they're using. I'm like, man, somebody's been watching some film. Somebody's been watching some of my film. It's great. I love TJ Watt. I love Aiden Hutchinson, and I think he was probably my favorite this year. Unfortunately, he got hurt. And but from the speed to power to the spin moves and the way he was using it, it was like I was looking like a clone of me. I was like, what is going on? This is beautiful. And so I think Myles Garrett is always going to be a staple guy that I always would love watching. He's a guy who just moves mountains. Literally, he's a guy that can bend the corner and run you over if you want. And you got Micah Parsons, who's just has that motor, and he just works super hard. And a lot of offensive tackles kind of like need to pick up their game because he's never going to stop. It's one of those things is where when you think the play is over, he keeps going.
Yeah, and he's an absolute freak, Myles Garrett is, as well as those other guys you mentioned, TJ Watt as well. And, when you bursted onto the scene back in 2002, you had 13 sacks right out of the gate. But how long did it take you to really understand what it took from a technique standpoint on how to set up a tackle with your spin move or swim move or bull rush? How long did it take you to really, understand what it took day in and day out to really start to dominate?
I think it's probably my second or third year. Probably my third year is where, things really started to come and into full picture, full HD, color. Where, when you're playing your second year, you're only playing based on athleticism and you have some technique. But, as you keep taking those reps and keep playing and you keep learning and you become a veteran in the game, you realize, this isn't playing checkers, this is a chess game. And you have to understand, those guys are getting paid on the opposite side too. Mm-hmm. The guys are blocking you. So you have to come up with game plans and what to do. So I think by my third year, I was pretty good at knowing what pitch to throw, what move I was going to do.
Well, by the third year, you led the league in sacks, so that kind of makes sense. We're talking with Dwight Freeney, Hall of Famer, here on The Drive. I want to ask you about this because this has been a hot topic during the week. As a former defensive player, you saw Azeez Al-Shaair and his 3-game suspension got upheld for his hit on Trevor Lawrence. Where do you stand on that as a former defensive player? And the league wants to protect quarterbacks to no end. Are they going too far? I thought the suspension was justified based on the young man and his prior history, but what say you?
Well, this is I don't know if you have enough time on there.
Okay, listen, I'm giving you the floor, Dwight.
I'll be going into the 4 o'clock hour with this one. But I would say this, look, and I know what the NFL is trying to do, right? They're trying to protect us players, and we appreciate that, all right? And that is something that needs to happen, okay? And then you have moments in time where, okay, you have a quarterback, right, that they're always getting protected, which we get it. We're no fools. We may not love it, but as defensive players, we understand, this is how they're going to market the game. They're going to get special protections, more protections than anyone else. All right. I can go into why is it even necessary for some of those rules, but I'm not going to go into it because we don't have enough time. But I would say this, and I was reading an article, actually, Tom Brady actually mentioned something similar to this. If you're a quarterback and you break outside the line of scrimmage, you have to understand that there's an aggression and there is a job someone has to do on the other side. All right. And then us defensive players, we're not like pawns and we're just out there to, just little small pieces. We have to make plays. Our job is to get the ball from the opponent. So we have to play aggressive. Now, if this was like first down and 10 and the guy was going to, the quarterback broke, outside and was getting 3 yards and tried to get down and someone took him out, that's a different. Okay, he was literally trying to concuss him or whatever. But this is a situation where the quarterback was trying to get a first down, all right? And he was right next to that first down marker. And you have an aggressive linebacker, guy who's an aggressive player, going to make a hit. Now, this is a split-second decision. People that never play defense won't understand it until you do. You have to engage your entire core, your leg, everything to explode to make a tackle, to stop him from getting a first down. And if the quarterback happens to slide late or suddenly, or God forbid, fake a slide and continue to run, then you're hurting yourself, you're hurting your team. So Tom mentioned, Brady said, look, if you're going to slide way before, maybe you have to do it way before to stop these types of things from happening. Because as a defensive player, you are trained to play aggressively. And you don't know if this guy's going to slide. And if he slides like really quick right before the first down, there's a good chance this could happen. All right. Now, do you think, I don't think he intentionally tried to concuss him. Does he have a history of personal fouls from different types of things? Sure. Have they been all about hitting the quarterback in the head? I don't think so. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't read up on all of his personal fouls, but they're all different. They're all completely different. Now, if he's a headhunter and this is all he does is hunt for the head of guys and tries to knock them all out, that's a different conversation. But the penalty, 15 yards, sure, no problem. Ejection from the game, okay, if you want to do that, that is, I think that's harsh, my personal opinion. But, okay, fine, ejection. Now, 3 games, that's extreme to me. That's extreme. That's where I have to draw the line.
And I completely get that from a guy who's done it at a very high level. The Hall of Famer Dwight Freeney is with me here on the program. Like, I watched Tua play, and we know about his concussion history and everything else. And I'm just like holding my breath every time he gets outside of the pocket and he starts to run, because I don't want this guy to, inflict any further damage to himself. It's a violent sport. And people don't understand that. Like, I've been on the sidelines for many NFL games, Dwight, and I tell fans this all the time. You guys don't understand, meaning the fans, obviously you do, how fast and violent this game is. You can watch it on TV all you want, but when you're there on the sidelines and you hear the pops and everything else and the yelps and the grunts and everything else, it goes to an entirely new level that a lot of people really don't understand, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of the story. What I'm trying to tell here is that this is an aggressive game. This is a game of controlled violence. No matter how you want to pretty it up and put a bow on it, that is what is happening. You have grown men going full speed, 100%, guys that bench 400, 500 pounds and squat 600, 700 pounds, and they have a job to do. They have a job to do. And Tua, I think he's a great player. I think, it's terrible that happened to him with the concussions. And I'm like you. I hold my breath when I see him running around in the backfield, not getting rid of the ball, or when he just takes a normal tackle or a sack. Because there's things that happen that is so unintentional that happens to concuss you. You can get hit by friendly fire. Mm-hmm. It could be his offensive lineman that run into him by accident or however it is, and he hits the head the wrong way. This is the game that we played, and we love the game, but we all understand that there's a lot of risk to this game. And I don't care what the NFL tries to do, there will be every single year a bunch of injuries, and unfortunately to the head. It's not for everybody. It never was. It's a tough game, but we love it. We love the game. We wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. And just people and fans just have to understand that's just the nature of the beast. This is what it is.
Well said, Dwight Freeney. We're wrapping it up with him. Do you have a Super Bowl pick based on what you're seeing right now? I know Buffalo. I think Buffalo with Josh Allen, he appears to be the MVP favorite. I know the Chiefs have won the last 2. They're going for 3 in a row. They're 11-1, but they're winning all these one-score games. They're living dangerously. You got the Lions and the Eagles in the NFC. Lions and the Packers, a really good game tonight. So what is your revised Super Bowl pick as of December the 5th?
Flip a coin. This is the one of those years that I was talking about it the other day. You have so many good teams right now at the top. And it just depends on who's better that day, literally. Other years I had an easier time of picking the team. But I sit there and I look at the Vikings and what they're doing and what they're doing defensively and how they change things up with moving guys around and dropping guys back in coverage and blitzing the guys. The quarterback doesn't understand who's going to be coming and going. You have teams like, the Packers even. The Packers even, they tend to get hot at the right time. Obviously, you have Detroit, So I think the NFC is a toss-up. If you look at the AFC, you got even Philadelphia in the NFC. But you got AFC, you got, the Chiefs, who knows what's going to happen with the Ravens depending on how they're playing that particular day.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Buffalo, that you never know. And those are the three teams that I'm really looking at in the AFC, but I don't know who's going to win, man. I don't know who's going to be there because it's really flipping a coin.
I think it's great. It's wide open. Anybody can really get there. All right, to get you out on this, the pride of Syracuse, how much did you enjoy your Orange, your alma mater, coming back from a 21-0 deficit and beating Miami and probably knocking them out of the college football playoff?
Oh, that was great. I mean, listen, I dug deep in my closet, pulled out my Syracuse jump shorts and Syracuse jump outfit and put it on the next day. Man, it's been so long since I've actually could talk about Syracuse football and be proud about as an alum on what they've done. And this year, being the first year of Fran Brown, I think he has those guys with the right mindset doing the right things. And whenever you can knock off the Hurricanes as a Syracuse origin for whatever reason, I don't care how bad we are. If we beat them, you know what? It wasn't a bad year. and we did that, so I'm good.
All right, he's the Hall of Famer, Dwight Freeney. He's going to be at the Pro Cup. Pro sports legends from all the four major sports, football, baseball, basketball, hockey. They're going to be there at the Innisbrook Resort in Palm Harbor next week, December 12th through the 14th. Get your tickets now, theprorivalsopen.com. Dwight, I really appreciate a few minutes of your time. We'll see you when you get down here. Thanks, man.
No problem. Take care.
You got it. You too. That's Dwight Freeney. Great stuff there. I knew he was going to defend Al Shire. He's a defensive player. But, he makes good points. Maybe Trevor Lawrence. And the only thing you can nitpick about Trevor Lawrence with that one play, maybe he decided to slide too late. And Al Shire, though, I mean, if you go back and watch it, he's beginning his slide, and then Al Shire just kind of left his feet, and he just threw his forearm right into the head area of Trevor Lawrence and bounced his head off the turf, which was a very scary look. Very scary. But we appreciate Dwight Freeney for joining us. TheProRivalsOpen.com, the legends from all four major sports. We talked to Tim Brown yesterday. He was awesome. Dwight Freeney was awesome. John Smoltz will be the captain for the baseball squad. Smoltzy will join us in studio on Monday. 888-546-4620. You can opine on that. Bucks and the Raiders. We're going to get into that matchup coming up in a matter of moments. Plus, a superstar on the Bucs side, and I think he is. He is laying it all on the line, but he is playing hurt. Who am I talking about? I can be talking about a lot of different guys, but this one guy is certainly integral to the Bucs' success, and we'll discuss that coming up next here on The Drive.
You're locked in to The Drive with TKras.
Guys, be careful out there on the roadways on this Thursday because an injury accident, as I found out a few months ago, can happen to anybody. And if it happens to you or someone you love, and if there's injuries as a result, you need to protect your rights and call on the guys that are defending me. Catania and Catania, the personal injury law firm that's been doing their thing for 30 years. They work on a contingency, which means there's no cost to you unless they win. And they've been doing plenty of winning. Almost $1 billion has been recovered by my guys for injury victims just like you. So protect your rights and protecting mine. They will go the extra mile for you. You want these guys in your corner should the worst occur. Here's the number, 813-222-8545, or get a free evaluation of your case online at CataniaandCatania.com. Again, the number, 813-222-8545. At Catania and Catania, they put families first. Office Tampa, not a Tony spokesman.
WDAE.
Traffic update.
From the
It just so happened in the fourth quarter, our guys they got hard, they got tougher, they strained longer at the end of the day, and we were able to break some tackles and make some explosive plays in the run game that we've been needing throughout that game.
Liam Cohen, the Buccaneer offensive coordinator, on his team's efforts in the fourth quarter. Behind that offensive line, the Buccaneers are wearing teams down. They're using that 1-2 punch at running back. Bucky Irving was fantastic, 25 for 151, on his way to being named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. And look, Rachaad White has been contributing as well. He was stellar as well in the win at Carolina on Sundays. We welcome you back. The Drive with yours truly, 3:37 on your ride home. Great to have you with us. Dwight Freeney was awesome, wasn't he? The Hall of Famer was just with us a few minutes ago, talking all things NFL. He's going to be at this golf tournament, the Pro Cup, which is taking place over at Innisbrook next week, December the 12th through the 14th. 888-546-4620. We'll go to your phones in a matter of moments. Yesterday, right toward the end of our show, we went through the injury report. The one thing that does concern me is that Mike Evans is on there for a hamstring and a calf injury on top of it. So that's something that bears watching. It doesn't appear right now that he's in danger of not playing on Sunday because he did talk to the media today. In fact, we want to wish a hearty congratulations to Mike Evans. He was named the Buccaneer nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award for the fourth time he's been nominated for this prestigious honor. So, Mike Evans, man, great player on the field, great person off the field, and he's been recognized for his efforts by being nominated once again for the fourth time for the Walter Payton Man of the Year honors. Just a great dude and a heck of a competitor. And the Bucs just need to keep this guy upright. Because if they do, two things. He completely changes the way teams defend the Bucs. Then you can't be walking safeties down into the box because you've got the threat of Mike taking you downtown. Without Mike in there, then all bets are off. The Buccaneers become much easier, in my opinion, to defend. They really do. Because outside of Mike Evans on the outside, I'm not afraid of Sterling Shepard, with all due respect. Or Jalen McMillan, who's a rookie. Cade Otton, if you've noticed the last couple of weeks, he's been a little inconsistent catching the football, and Liam Cohen called him out today for that. And hopefully, he can get back on the winning track here this week. But the guy I'm semi-concerned about, I'm not really concerned about Mike. And the calf is, a little worrisome. We'll keep an eye on that. But Tristan Wirfs also talked to the media today. And he played a whale of a game, a heck of a game on Sunday. Despite the fact that he's got the sprained MCL and he's dealing with a foot injury too. Listen, nobody's 100%. It's week 14. Everyone's banged up. Everybody's dealing with something. And Tristan said today, maybe playing the whole game, might not have been such a good idea. But what choice does he have? The Buccaneers were on the brink of losing to Carolina. And he played a tremendous game. Basically on one leg, getting out there. There was an outside zone run where he completely obliterated the defensive back. Tough as nails. I mean, we know how great Tristan Wirfs is, right? A man that big, a man that athletic, who moves the way he does, and with the knee and the foot compromising him, he was still out there burying dudes. What a player. Let's go to our phones. Loudmouth Todd in Land O'Lakes. What's going on? Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon. Love to hear you as well. Happy holidays. The point I'm going to make is this Bucs O-line, I think, is seriously underrated. I think they're doing a hell of a job with Godicke and Cody Mouch making strides year in and year two. I'd like to see Tucker start the game off and really see what this O-line can do with different running backs back there and really just prove that it's the O-line and the running back system that we got. And, Mike Evans, I hope he can make it through the healthy season. 1,000 yards is a big question mark, but just having him on that field is a whole dynamic for our offense. So I think we got the Raiders put another win together.
I think so, Todd, and I appreciate the phone call. Look, Buck shouldn't have any trouble this week.
Tom, he wants you to be available.
I do want you to be available, Mike. And congrats, buddy, on being named Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee once again for the fourth time. The Raiders are 2-10. They played Kansas City really tough last week because they hate Kansas City. And they should have beat them. They had them on the ropes. I don't know if you're going to see that same type of intensity from the Raiders this week. What the Bucs have to do is come out early, punch them in the mouth, let them know what's up, and make sure they don't recover. That's how you take 2-10 teams out. You take them out at the knees early in the game. And you make them understand very early, listen, we're not messing around, okay? We're coming out, we're being violent, and we're taking control of this game right from the get-go. And I think with some teams that are kind of playing out the string, I think the Raiders are one of those teams, even though they've got a couple of guys that you absolutely have to concern yourselves with, guys that are game changers. I think Brock Bowers is a game changer offensively. Max Crosby, a game changer defensively. Outside of those two guys, Jacoby Myers is pretty good. They don't really have much else, honestly. Aiden O'Connell, young quarterback, trying to sort through some things. Bunch of no-names really at running back. Nobody that really slapdicks everywhere. Take them out, though. You don't let them hang around. And I think that's the biggest key for me Sunday is you come out, you assert yourself early, you smack them in the mouth, and hope that they cower into a corner somewhere. Choke them. Here's your hat. Don't forget your hat. How you doing, O'Connell? How you doing? Coming up, we'll talk more. Rick Stroud will join us at 4:05. Alex Golesh at 5:05. Let it ride a little bit later on, too, as we'll take you all the way up until 7 o'clock. When we come back, we'll be constructing a W, an enormous Thursday night game. Coming up tonight, we're going to let you know about that. Plus, breaking developments regarding the Rays and the stadium situation. Something is about to go down. I'm going to tell you what it is next.
You're tuned in to The Drive with TKras.
We have the lovely and talented Julie Weintraub from the Golden Diamond Source on the show yesterday, and she was helping you guys out with some gift ideas, not last-minute gift ideas, because you've got plenty of time here. 20 shopping days left until Christmas. And this holiday season, you can make her jaw drop over at the Golden Diamond Source, where they have the perfect piece to show your lady she's one of a kind. So the wife, the girlfriend, if you're thinking about popping the question, the Golden Diamond Source is where you need to be going. If you're looking for that forever gift, you can find stunning engagement rings, diamond bracelets, and more over at the Golden Diamond Source because she deserves the very best. Don't settle for anything less than perfection. And at the Golden Diamond Source, we make it easy to give a gift that she will never forget. The Golden Diamond Source experts have the perfect gift for everyone without dealing with all that mall madness. They have awesome, knowledgeable, and friendly sales staff members that will help you find something. They'll wrap your gift as well. They're going to make it look really nice and pretty with the bow and everything else. Presentation is everything, folks, as well as the thought. From statement necklaces to elegant diamond earrings, the Golden Diamond Source is the only place to shop for the gift of a lifetime. You can finance your purchase with 0% interest for up to 5 years. You can get a $5,000 diamond, for example, for only $84 a month. So check them out. Visit the Golden Diamond Source today for all of your holiday shopping needs. 3800 Omerton Road in Clearwater. Always online at goldendiamond.com, where you'll always find the perfect gift. Tell them TKras sent you.
WDAE
Traffic update. This report.
It's Thursday from Wesley Chapel to Fishhawk and all around Tampa Bay, plus worldwide on iHeartRadio.
The gloves are off. I'm playing hardball. It's 4th and 15, and you're looking at a full court press.
You're tuned into the voice of the Tampa Bay sports fan.
You're going to like this guy. He's all right. He's a good fella. He's one of us.
Buckle up, because you're on the drive with TKras. Afternoons on 95.3 WDAE and AM 620.
You know, a little, like you just more so, what's the give and take between how much is too much, more so from a mental standpoint also, okay, what can they handle from a physical standpoint? Our trainers and everybody does a really good job of letting us know where they're at, how many snaps, what's the goal this game, and we try to, stay collective with that.
Bucs offensive coordinator Liam Cohen trying to find the happy balance between when or how to use Bucky Irving and Rachaad White. Those two guys did quite the number in the overtime win against the Carolina Panthers on Sunday, where the Buccaneers probably got a little lucky there. 236 yards rushing. Good afternoon, Tampa Bay. Welcome back. 4:05 on your ride home on this beautiful Letter Ride Thursday. The Drive with TKras, presented by Moss Nissan. Great to have you with us. We'll take you until 7 o'clock. Alex Golesh joins me in 1 hour from now. We've got Letter Ride in the 5 o'clock hour. Got a big Thursday night game tonight. Packers visiting the Lions. You got the Lightning. They're in action tonight against the Sharks. We'll talk about all of that. Letter Ride at 5:30. We'll take you into 7 o'clock. More of your calls and texts coming up. Buccaneers hosting the Raiders Sunday at 1 o'clock. And let's talk more about the Bucs. He's with us right now in the Central Florida Behavioral Health Network DA hotline. Learn more at cfbhn.org. Rick Stroud covers the Buccaneers for the Tampa Bay Times, tampabay.com. And he's with me here on a Thursday. Rick, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, T-Kraz? I'm doing well, man.
Awesome. Are you doing as well as Bucky Irving, the NFC? Does this mean that he's NFC Offensive Player of the Week, so he's not going to play next week? I'm just joking.
Yeah, right. Like the last guy that did that got 7 snaps, and 0 snaps last game.
But, look, Bucky Irving, he's dealing with the hip now, and he's got a foot injury. You and I know, and I think you made a great comparison with him in terms of his running style, comparing him to Warrick Dunn. Now we're getting into week 14, and he's got all of these injuries piling up. He touched it 28 times last week, Rick. So you talked to Liam Cohen today. How important is it to try and maybe scale back his reps a little bit so he's fresh, so when he's ready to go and when he's fresh for – when the games really count?
They all count now, Tom. Look, they can't really afford to lose this game. Maybe they can lose one more if it's the Chargers, but because it's an AFC team. But even then, you need Atlanta to lose 2 at that point to win the division. So 2 more, that is. So, the thing about running backs is they have a short shelf life for the most part. They get hit as much as anybody. And I know that early in the year, I think there was a thought because of his size and the fact that, he was learning the offense and things to try to, at best split carries with Rachaad White or actually be a secondary type running back. But, the guy is their best playmaker, down in and down out. Obviously Mike Evans is a Hall of Fame player, but you can't just turn and hand the ball to Mike the way you can with Bucky. And he creates – so many plays on his own. The hole doesn't have to be perfect. I think he's made the first tackler miss more than anybody in the NFL this year. He has explosion when he gets to the next level. So it's very difficult to keep a guy like that off the field. You're going to give him as much as you think he can handle. And yeah, he's beat up, he's a sore man, as John Gruden would say about him. But, that's the position. You're getting hit 4 and 5 times every time you touch the ball. Mm-hmm. So they'll monitor that during the game. And obviously Rachaad had a huge run, in that game in overtime. So if Rachaad can crease them a few times, then that would, certainly give them an opportunity to keep Bucky, to try to manage his carries. But really, you got to try to win every game, and you don't know how it's going to go. So I think he's going to continue to play as much as he can handle.
And he's not the only one banged up. You know, you talked to Tristan Wirfs today, and he played an incredible game considering he was out there on one leg. He's burying guys in the run game. It was really something awesome to watch. But he's got the knee, he's got the foot problem, and he probably said today, oh, you know, I don't know if I should have been out there the whole game. But like Bucky, the Buccaneers need Tristan Wirfs.
They do, and the thing about the offensive linemen is, you know, those guys hate to miss anything. You know, they hate to take a game off, as he did. They certainly hate to take. They're not going to take any snaps off. It didn't help him that game was on turf. You know, it was kind of difficult. You know, just added to the pounding because it is both his knee, you know, sort of, and his foot together. But listen, he's one of the toughest guys on the team, and not for nothing, but Max Crosby's coming to town, and that dude is relentless. You will not see a motor like that on a pass rusher in football. No matter where they put him, whether it's Luke Gedicke's side or Tristan's side, they need both those guys to play and play big. So it's just the time of year. You know, no one feels good. You've got to keep as many bodies on there as you can. And, yeah, could they have beaten Carolina with Justin School? Maybe. But, you know, at the end of the day, Tristan's going to be back out there on Sunday, and he's got a big challenge, as does their whole offensive line.
Rick Stroud is with me. You can read him, Tampa Bay Times, also at TampaBay.com, where you had several articles, including, you know, Mike Evans, another guy, Rick. My gosh, it's like a mash unit here, but he's out there at less than 100%. He's got the hamstring. We knew about that. Now he's got this calf problem. He was nominated for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award for the fourth time. So doing great things on the field as well as off the field. But, you know, your best sense as to Mike Evans and what's been hobbling him, because teams, and you know this, Rick, teams defend the Bucs differently whether or not he's on or off the field. I mean, he makes a big difference.
Well, he does. And, I mean, I think we saw that in the Carolina game, you know, his second game back from that injury, the hamstring. And, you know, the play he makes, and we've seen Mike make one-handed catches, but that's maybe one of the greatest plays he's made, and that's saying something. You know, to make a twisting catch like that, get both feet in bounds against J.C. Horn, who's a really good cover corner, and you know, he doesn't like to grade him, but he said that one would be up there. And I asked Mike how he felt. He says he feels really good. You know, I don't know how many snaps he played. He played damn near as many as he could, and in a regular game. So I expect him to be out there. You know, he is an absolute warrior. He obviously knows exactly what he has to do to get his 11th straight 1,000-yard season to tie Jerry Rice. That's important to him. It's not as important as winning, but he had over 100 yards, you know, this past Sunday, and that's, you know, he's going to go for it, man. And you know, with Mike, yeah, you get predictable coverage, you know, and we can talk about Liam Cohen and kind of what they did in that game. It was weird. You know, they only had 88 yards rushing through three quarters, and then of course they just turned it on after that in overtime in fourth quarter. But he had to do that, he felt, because he needed to get Carolina, you know, sort of out of that, you know, that thick box and make them have to defend the pass so he could run the football, make them get back into cover two and have a better front. So I don't know how they'll approach it, but Mike is such a big part. The offense really runs through him, and it will again on Sunday.
Bucs and the Raiders coming up Sunday, 1 o'clock at Raymond James Stadium. I'm talking with Rick Stroud, Tampa Bay Times at TampaBay.com. You know, last week's hero, Anthony Nelson, was with me, Rick, the other day, and you know, I didn't think of this until he said it. He's like, well, my wife gave birth to our second son on Friday. It's a good thing he came through on Friday and kicked his way out of there, because had he been born on a Sunday, he wouldn't have been there, and then who knows what would have happened there.
Yeah, you know, you see those things, and it's a little like It's a Wonderful Life. You know, it's like everything. Mr. Potter, you spend your weapon. Yeah, it's just kind of like, you know, what if Anthony Nelson wasn't in Carolina, you know? But he managed to make the biggest play, Tom, of the season. I mean, we could look back on this and say that not just saved the game, that saved the Bucs' entire season. You know, the math just didn't work. And, I mean, you know, they're in field goal range, you know, before he rips that ball out. But, yeah, I heard your interview. I talked to Anthony myself, of course, and, you know, it was kind of touch and go. But the kid knows the football. He's a footballer, and he knew he had to punch his way out. And you know, he was able to get on the plane on Friday. Fortunately, they had family down here to take care of Jordan, his wife, and just such a great story, right, for a guy who's always had tremendous production for the number of snaps he plays. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you look at Anthony and what he does year in, year out, he'll end up with 4 or 5 sacks, but he plays a lot less than most guys generally, and but just comes up in big moments. It was a cool moment for him in the locker room, everybody yelling Nelly, and and then he got home, of course, and like a good footballer son, a kid was waiting up for him, and he got to spend time with him and Jordan. It was just it's a great story, and the kind of thing that gives you goosebumps. That's what sports is about. And what a moment, what a couple of 3 or 4 days. It'll be hard to top that, and that's something that him and his son will hear that story about 1,087 times, I guarantee you, before he's 5 years old.
Without question. Rick Stroud is with me here, and the defensive side, Rick, more injuries. Mike Edwards has got this hamstring strain. It looks like his availability very much in doubt. We know that Jordan Whitehead is out. I don't know if TKras Smith is coming back this week. And, oh, by the way, the guy who's leading the NFL in receptions, just named the NFL Offensive Player of the Month, Brock Bowers, is coming to town, and nobody's been able to stop this guy, Rick. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's one of those tight ends that's generational, I think. Maybe not in the way that Gronk did it, but the way he's able to stem routes. You don't see tight ends run like receivers, and be able to cut on an out route and get separation the way he does. And he's explosive when he catches the ball, and almost no one can cover him. They've tried bracketing him. They've tried, zoning him. I mean, and we know the Bucs have been vulnerable in the middle of the field. They're going to look for him a lot because he's their bell cow, really their bell cow offensive weapon when you really get down to it. And, I think the one positive might be that there's a good chance, I think, that TKras makes it back this week. He's missed 3 weeks with a knee injury. He was out there practicing. We'll see, if it was limited or exactly what he did, because we don't get to see really much of practice, just who's kind of warming up. But if you could get TKras Smith, who's their best cover guy, back on the field, that would certainly help the equation. But you're not gonna shut down Brock Bowers. You got to make sure that you shut down their run and try to get them in predictable passing situations with Aiden O'Connell, who played really well last week against Kansas City. He's gaining confidence each week. You see that last week, obviously, with Bryce Young. It's similar with O'Connell. So this will not be an easy game. This Raiders defense is a lot better, I think, against the run than Carolina was, certainly. And when you've got a Max Crosby, it's going to be tough. So, yeah, they got some capable weapons. Not many wins, but these guys are not pushovers, I assure you.
Rick, you were reading about it and writing about it, rather, at TampaBay.com. The Bucs will have their third punter lining up this week. I talked to Martin Gramatica the other day, and he's like, maybe they should get Jake Camarda back because of the familiarity. He was not only the punter but also the holder. You saw Chase McLaughlin. He missed a 55-yard field goal off a bad snap. But now you got a new punter this week, so tell us what the team is doing there and why they're going with this kid.
Well, they just couldn't go any longer. We talked to, Todd Bowles on Monday. It was obvious they were going to make a change there. He felt like not just the punts, but the kickoff, nearly cost them the game. And, Jack Browning, what's interesting about him is, God bless him, man, the next punt that he has will be the first one ever in the NFL. I'm talking preseason. This guy has never kicked the ball on an NFL field in a game that mattered or not. And so you wonder what his nerves is going to be. Again, we don't get to see a lot of practice. I've seen him in special teams a little bit. Todd Bowles says he can boom them, which is great if you need him to, if he's in the end zone. But what you really are looking for is consistency, and they simply didn't have that this year, whether it was in practice or in games. You cannot – You can live with a 40-yard net if it's a fair catch or, something like that, but you can't have those Shankopotamuses happen in games. And then the kickoff was brutal, when the ball misses the landing zone and you're giving a team the ball at the 40-yard line. I mean, that's unforgivable. So they're trying to avoid those mistakes. Will it affect, their operation when it comes to the place kicking? I suppose that's possible, but Chase McLaughlin has been so steady that I don't know that there's much that's going to change his approach. If he sees the ball gets down, he's going to kick it through the upright. So we'll have to see, but it's not, to go through 3 punters in one season, that's not where you want to be as a team.
It's certainly not ideal. All right, Rick, give me a guy. I always ask you this on Countdown to Kickoff on Sunday mornings, but give me an X factor for this game here on Sunday. I mean, the Bucs are tied with the Falcons. The Falcons, a very tough game at Minnesota. They could very well lose that game by the end of Sunday. I mean, the Buccaneers could be back in first place.
Well, it could be, and I think that's huge, right, psychologically, and we'll see what they do with the Chargers as the only team left on the schedule that has a winning record. It's been interesting. I've been watching their defense, and you're starting to see, some guys emerge. And we saw Yaya Diaby almost not pick up that ball the other day, but he did make a huge play on the recovery after Nelson's fumble. But Kalijah Kancey has got a streak going. He's starting to have a sack every single game, and I think he's going to end up as a sack leader on this team. There are some plays that he comes off the ball where they can't reach him. They just can't block the guy. I think he's been a disruptive force. I think he's kind of settled down, gotten some pressure at least inside. We're still not seeing it result in sacks from the guys off the edge. But I think we're watching a guy really bloom and come into his own. And him and Vita Vea, sitting in front of a guy like O'Connell could be very disruptive in this game. And their defense is going to have to come to play. There's no doubt about that. So I just keep looking at the inside of that defense, that's the strength of their team. And for all the things that, we talked about that they could do, they got to stop the run. And I just like the game that Kancey's playing right now.
5 sacks in his last 4 games. He is starting to come on strong. All right, he's Rick Stroud. You can read him, Tampa Bay Times, also at TampaBay.com. He's on the Insider Show Sunday at 9 a.m. He'll join me for Countdown to Kickoff as well at 11 a.m. Rick, I'll talk to you then, buddy.
Hey, Tom, one more thing. Just on Saturday from 11 to noon at the team store for the Bucs, my good friend Tom Moore will be signing his book, The Player's Coach, that I helped document, if anything else. Get out there and let's support Coach. And I'm telling you, you'll get an autographed copy, and you won't be disappointed in the book. There's some amazing stories there. So 11 to noon on Saturday.
There you have it, 11 to noon, The Ageless One, Tom Moore. He was on this show. It's a great book. I read it, Rick. It's awesome. You did an incredible job with Tom Moore with that book. And when we had him on the show, he was very entertaining, to say the least. So.
They carry me up boots first.
There you go.
Boots first.
That's the way it's going out, man.
Yes, sir. All right, Rick, they're going to have to carry you out boots first, the way things are going over there. I appreciate it, bud.
All right, take care now.
You got it. There you have it, Rick Stroud. The book signing coming up on Saturday. They're going to have to carry me out boots first, too, by the way, here, which may very well happen. Who knows? But the great Tom Moore, what a great book that is. And I encourage all of you to read it or pick it up maybe for a holiday present as well. But Tom Moore will be signing those books on Saturday. 888-546-4620. Text there. You can, at 82945, by the way, begin your text with DAE followed by your comments.
I wonder if you could get Tom Moore to sign #BootsFirst.
Carry me up boots first.
I'd like that. That'd be pretty neat.
I think that would be neat.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we can do that. I got the book somewhere. I have it because I read it, obviously. It was fantastic.
I've got one in here, too.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
We got to get Tom Moore. I got to get over there and have him autograph the book. #Boots First.
You can have this copy, man.
Get it. He was a character, man. I could have talked to that guy for 4 hours when we had him on the show. That was one of my more interesting and entertaining conversations. I wouldn't even call it interview at this point. It was a conversation with a guy who's been there and done that for, close to 50 years in the NFL as a coach, and a tremendous one at that, highly respected. And that book.
So what's the question?
Question here, Tommy boy, is, you went against Tom Moore, and then Tom Moore became your coach. It must have been easier, right, for you to be on that side of it with Tom Moore as opposed to the other side? Tom Brady. What game is he doing this week? He's not doing Bucks Raiders, is he? He can't.
No, yeah, he can't do that.
He's
I'll
not
have to
allowed.
find out. Hang tight.
He's not allowed to do Bucks Raiders. You got a big one tonight. You got Packers Lions tonight on Amazon Prime. Tremendous game. Packers 9-3, Lions 11-1.
He'll be doing the Rams at home against the Bills on Sunday. That's the game he's on.
That's
Josh Allen. That'll be entertaining to see him talk about that. Well, entertaining, I don't know, but we'll see. He's getting better.
He's getting
Brady's
better.
getting better. He's not Greg Olsen.
He's not. He's not Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen's fantastic. Greg Olsen right now is at the top of the food chain when it comes to football analysts. All right. When we come back, there is some news regarding the Rays and the St. Pete City Council meeting. We're going to get into that. Plus more NFL news, big game tonight. And the Lightning are back in action too. What's going on there? All that is coming up next here on The Drive.
You're tuned in to The Drive with TKras.
Guys, get your home prepared and ready to go for the holidays. My guys over at Green Tech Roofing and Solar can help you get there. Locally owned, licensed, and trusted by the Tampa Bay community. And listen, after the storms, they helped me out. I had some roof damage as a result of Hurricane Milton, and John Franco and the boys helped me out in a pinch, so I certainly appreciate them. And they can help you out as well. Depending upon the size of your home, Green Tech can have your roof completed in a single day and take care of all of that cleanup for you. They do residential and commercial, over 400 five-star reviews. So get on them at greentechroofing.com. You can see their latest schedule of projects that they've done. You can also schedule your free roof inspection too. Green Tech Roofing and Solar, the #1 roofing solution in Tampa Bay. greentechroofing.com. This is Smart Roofing.
WDAE.
Traffic update.
4:33 on your ride home. What a gorgeous day. It's like a broken record each and every day. Just a gorgeous day. Get out there. The Drive with TKras. Great to have you with us on this beautiful Thursday in Tampa Bay. Chris Mathis on the other side. 888-546-4620. Your calls, your texts. Actually, some good texts coming in at 82945. We're going to get into that in a matter of moments.
Say that again.
Yes, Jason Light.
Good text, Tom? Did you just say good text on the text line?
Yeah. It's kind of like an oxymoron. And there's plenty of morons. Come on. What?
No. You insulted him a little bit.
All right, maybe a little bit.
Good weather calls for Tenacious Tom. You're bringing the heat today.
Tenacious Tom Brady? Is he tenacious as well?
You know what? You can call him that.
He can be tenacious. I mean, Dwight Freeney said so. The Hall of Famer, by the way, joined us earlier, right out of the gate, Dwight Freeney. Any interview you may have missed, 953WDA.com, The Drive, podcast. Commercial-free podcast can also be accessed through the iHeartRadio app. So, Chris Mathis, you told me something that I had a hard time believing before the show today because you keep track of this stuff. Now, there's plenty of people who don't get a chance to listen to us from 3 until 7 or 3 until 6, however the schedule falls out. But you told me something in terms of people going back and listening to podcasts of this show that I couldn't believe. Tell me.
Yeah, 34,000 podcast downloads last month alone for The Drive. So it's exciting! It is, and that means that's not clicking to listen live or listening live on the iHeartRadio app. That's simply going back to what's already been podcasted episode by episode and listening, and 34,000 plays in 1 month.
That is unbelievable.
I can't hear a word you're saying.
Well, that's why you got to go and download the iHeartRadio app, and then you could go back and listen to it if you can't hear us. And that's what people are doing. 34,000 last month?
And some change.
That's got to be a mistake.
Some change, too. No, it's.
Are you sure it wasn't 34?
Yeah. No, I'm quite positive because I heard it and I thought, wow, let's keep this up.
Oh, my.
And you know what? Big time thank you to the truckers, too, because they've called into the program after hours and said, hey, Chris, keep podcasting like you're doing. I drive across the country and I'm able to hear the show as if it were live hours later.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, the truckers, man. We're all for the truckers. You guys make the world go round. We certainly appreciate you guys. Not an easy job to do. You're out there countless hours, 12, 14, 16 hours straight on the roadways, doing what you got to do to keep us rolling here in the state of Florida. So we certainly appreciate the truckers. 34,000 is just an unbelievable number. I think it's a mistake. I don't know,
Great.
It is great. All right, so Mark Topkin just tweeted. Topper, it's been a while since we've had that guy on the show. We'll try and get him back on at some point really soon. Eric Neander, listen up, because the St. Pete City Council is about to take up the issue. It's on the agenda, and they're about to vote on the bonds for the Rays Stadium. Now, there has been some dialogue, perhaps, between maybe the team and maybe some officials about, where they stand at this point. Kind of like a back and forth, he said, she said sort of thing. But the fact that the vote surprisingly made its way onto the items on the agenda for the St. Pete City Council meeting is probably a good thing. And look, I think Mayor Ken Welch really wants this to happen. And I think this is his influence on putting this item on the agenda, and we'll keep you updated. I've got the live feed in front of me, but this thing is kind of like the Rays offense. It's not working right.
Turn those machines back
Turn it on. I'm trying to turn it on. I'm trying to watch the St. Pete City Council meeting, and, it's kind of like it's like Nintendo 8-bit back in the day. You're trying to play certain games like Kung Fu or whatever, and, it's not working. It starts to pixelate a little bit. Or the original Tecmo Bowl. By the way, Lawrence Taylor and Bo Jackson, incredible. 2 best players on Tecmo Bowl. The original Tecmo Bowl for 8-bit Nintendo. the best Tecmo Bowl was Tecmo Super Bowl for the Super Nintendo. They enhanced it. They put in weather elements, rain, snow. That's an amazing game.
Yeah, real progressions there, right? Now, have
Absolutely.
you played Madden NFL these days, Tom?
No,
Probably not, right?
I don't
have
play
you
video
seen
games.
I don't either. It's been about 2 years, but the graphics on these video games are unbelievable.
They're incredible.
My grandmother could walk in and just watch the television of me playing a video game, and she might even think it's a real deal game. That's how good it is.
I don't know how good.
Great.
This Rays Stadium situation's going to be. But we're going to find out in a couple of minutes. I think this vote is going to go the Rays' way. I don't know about the county commission. I guess they'll cross that bridge when they get to it. We had Chris LaValla on the show a couple of weeks ago, and obviously he's against it, and there are a couple of new members that are skeptical of the deal. But look, this is why I was calling for everyone to get in a room. Get in a room, get it off your chest. You want to get into a pissing match, do so. But if you feel like it's healthy, therapeutically, to get inside of a room and air out your differences, then go for it. Air out your grievances. You know, Festivus is coming up. The airing of the grievances with the poll and everything else, if that's what helps you, I'll get a poll. I'll put it in here. And, you know, there's a lot of things you could do with a poll, by the way. You know, maybe we'll get some ladies, some scores. I don't know. Thank you, P. Fairbanks. But I'll get the Festivus poll. I'll put it in here. And if Brian Auld wants to get into a wrestling match with Chris LaValla, we can do that too. You know? You're not going anywhere until you pin me. You know, a side suplex or something like that right on top of the council. Whatever it takes. Kind of like Moss Nissan. Whatever it takes to get a deal done and get this stadium thing, get the shovel into the ground, and let's go already. Stop messing around. Stop wasting your time. Stop wasting our time. Just do the deal already. Everybody wants to get it done, I think, but there's posturing involved, and this is what I hate. I hate politics. I don't understand it, but there's always posturing. You're always looking for crowd approval. Kind of like in wrestling. Gosh, just get it done. It's a win-win for just about everybody. There's a certain number of people that don't like it. I know there was a group that was supposed to be protesting outside of the city council meeting today. Like no home run. I don't even know what the name of the group was. But there's like a group that's not happy about the proceedings and the bond money. And look, you're going to redevelop that area. It's going to be beautiful. You're going to attract like hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions of people over the next 30 years. You're sitting on an absolute beautiful piece of property. It's made of gold, man. Let's get this thing done already. And if I can just get this feed to work, maybe we'll find out exactly what's happening. But we'll keep you updated. It appears that the city council will be voting in a matter of moments. 888-546-4620. Text at 82945. All right, coming up, Alex Golesh will join me at 5:05 to talk about the Hawaiian Punch Bowl, or what's the...
What was it, Hawaiian Bowl?
The Hawaiian
Bowl.
The Hawaiian Bowl. Who are they playing? Wagner College?
I think it's San Jose State.
Close enough. We'll talk to Alex Golesh. You know,
Come on, dude.
I was thinking, I love Coach.
Yeah, I know. He loves you. He loves the program. He made him laugh.
I did. I made him laugh. And, you know he's comfortable with yours truly when he starts quoting movies. And I was watching Christmas Vacation the other night, and he referenced Christmas Vacation the last time he was on when he was talking about how he can see the construction of the on-campus stadium from his office window. And he's looking out the window, kind of like Clark Griswold. Remember, he's looking out, his window into his backyard, envisioning how his swimming pool is going to look with everybody and Cousin Eddie throwing the towel down. I love that about Coach Golesh. When you start quoting movies, then you and I, we're in sync.
Squirrel!
Squirrel!
Yeah, you got that one better than I did.
Russ! Oh, right here, Dad. Go get me a hammer. Clark, what do you need a hammer for? I'm going to catch him in the coat and smack him with the hammer. All right, coming up. You're not going to believe this, guys. This is another breaking news item. Bill Belichick has a job interview. And you're not going to believe where. That's coming up next here on The Drive. Don't move.
You're locked in to The Drive with TKras.
We had the lovely and talented Julie Weintraub on the show yesterday, and we were talking about the holidays and gift ideas and everything else. And over at the Golden Diamond Source, they want to get you something that is perfect for your wife, your girlfriend. If you're thinking about popping the big question, this is obviously the time of year, right, where a lot of people like to propose. So that's what you need to be doing. You need to get down to the Golden Diamond Source where you can make her jaw drop this holiday season. The Golden Diamond Source has the perfect piece to show her. She's one of a kind. And if you're looking for a gift that says forever, you can find stunning engagement rings, diamond bracelets, and more over at the Golden Diamond Source because she deserves the best. Don't settle for anything less than perfection. At the Golden Diamond Source, we make it easy to give a gift that she will never forget. The Golden Diamond Source experts, and there's plenty of them to help you out there. They've got the perfect gift for everyone without dealing with all that mall madness. Forget about that. Head on over to the Golden Diamond Source. From statement necklaces to elegant diamond earrings, the Golden Diamond Source is the only place to shop for the gift of a lifetime. Plus, you could finance your purchase with 0% interest for up to 5 years. So you can get a $5,000 diamond, for example, for $84 a month. So visit the Golden Diamond Source today, this holiday season at 3800 Overton Road in Clearwater. They're always online at goldendiamond.com where you will always find the perfect gift. Tell them TKras sent you.
WDAE
Traffic update.
This
DAE and AM 620.
4:50 on your ride home on this beautiful Thursday. We'll take you up until 7 o'clock. Alex Golesh will join me coming up at 5:05. We've got Let It Ride. You got the Lightning in action tonight against the Sharks, against the Guppies, whatever you want to call it.
Kucherov!
It is going to be good for Kucherov. It's going to be good for everybody.
You call them the Guppies?
Yeah. That's terrific. So, Bill Belichick has a job interview. According to Brett McMurphy, our guy, he's interviewing for the head coaching vacancy at the University of North Carolina. What? Yes. Bill Belichick is interviewing at North Carolina. I just don't see Bill being a college guy with the NIL, the transfer portal. This is a peculiar move as far as I'm concerned. Now, I don't know if he's doing this because I have no idea why he's doing this. I'm just at a loss for words to understand why he would interview in North Carolina for this position, because I think he will have the choice of NFL jobs. Now, maybe, just maybe, he's thinking, okay, last year when the Patriots let me go, I thought I was going to get more NFL head coaching looks than I actually did. Really, the Falcons, were the only team that talked to him more than once, I believe. And he had conversations with a couple of other teams. But the Falcons were interested. And then, of course, what's his face? Mr. 2x4. Arthur Blank.
Ah, come on.
What?
Give the man a break.
That's what, what?
No.
Come on.
Insulted him a little bit.
I'm not insulting him. The guy's made a ton of money from Home Depot.
He did, and he has, and he will continue to do so. He just hasn't constructed that championship-winning football team yet. 28-3.
He has a better chance of
so what's the question?
Bill
constructing a
Belichick in
W.
that too.
Yeah, he was in that. But he came close to getting the Falcons job, but he wasn't really seriously considered for the other head coaching openings. They went with younger guys who obviously weren't going to be a stickler for personnel that Bill Belichick apparently is. So is he getting senses or vibes from teams that maybe he won't be as coveted as we might think? If he's going to be adamant on full control over personnel, then I think he's going to have an issue, because he can only land in a couple of places with a personnel guy that he would know. And right now, those options are few and far between. So I find this interesting that he's out there interviewing for the head coaching gig at North Carolina, because I think he's a pros guy. I don't see Bill Belichick coaching in college football. There's just no way. Plus, he wants Don Shula's record. And you're not going to be able to do that, obviously, coaching on the college ranks. This is the NFL head coaching wins record, which he can absolutely get within 2 years, depending upon where he lands. I think he wants to go somewhere where there's an established quarterback. I think maybe he's doing this for reps. I have no idea why he's interviewing in North Carolina, but they want him. They're talking to him. And we'll see what comes of it.
Maybe his girlfriend has some friends there that attend the college.
Oh,
come on, man.
Insulted him a little bit.
She's 24. All right.
Look
all right.
at the bird from Mathis. Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
I think you're right, though. I think he's just trying to get his name back in the mix and get more inquiry from NFL teams.
That's the only reason.
Where there's smoke, there's fire, right?
There's. I would be stunned if he took a college job. There's just no way. It's not for him, especially the way it's set up now. NIL, transfer portal, no way. Can you imagine Bill Belichick, who's 72 years old, trying to preach to an 18-year-old kid what he should be doing? Now, I know there's a lot of college coaches that are up there in age, but these are guys who understand the landscape that is college football currently. Bill Belichick doesn't. So I'm really mystified by this. So we'll see how this one shakes out. All right, 2 hours are in the books. Coming up, USF is going bowling for the second consecutive year under his watch. So what can we expect when they get to the Hawaii Bowl? We're going to talk to USF head football coach Alex Golesh, friend of the program. He will join us coming up next here on The Drive.
You're tuned in to The Drive with TKras.
It is The Drive, and it is presented by our friends over at Moss Nissan, where their goal is to never lose your business over price. Chris Mathis is also here, and the holidays are here too. And Moss Nissan is doing whatever it takes, Chris, to make this season unforgettable with your shot at up to $5,000 in holiday cash. What?
Yeah, that they are, Tom. How neat would it be to be on your drive home listening to The Drive in your brand new Nissan from Moss Nissan? Here's the game plan. Visit any Moss Nissan location, pick out a new or even a pre-owned vehicle, and once the deal is done, you'll grab an envelope from their holiday tree.
And inside that envelope, you can score anywhere from $500 to $5,000 in holiday cash. And with over $30,000 on the line, Moss Nissan is bringing that holiday magic.
So what are you doing if you're not taking advantage of this great offer? Don't miss your chance at the big win up to $5,000 in holiday cash. Head to Moss Nissan today.
They've got 3 locations, North Tampa, Newport Richey, or up in Brooksville, right off the Suncoast Parkway. Really convenient location up there in Brooksville. Or online, you can check out their inventory at mossnissan.com. That's mossnissan.com. Moss Nissan doing whatever it takes to make your holidays epic. And as always, Merry Christmas from all of us here at DAE and our friends over at Moss Nissan. And my friends over at CMK Construction, the kitchen and bath experts, Manny and Courtney, they also want to wish each and every one of you a very Merry Christmas and a happy holidays this holiday season. We can sure use some positivity, some cheer after the year we've been through with the hurricanes and everything else. And I know a lot of people are still maybe rebuilding, or maybe you're looking to reconstruct or perhaps remodel your kitchen or your bathroom. If you're thinking about doing that, these guys do high-end work. CMK Construction will help you consult, design, or build the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. They've been at this more than 20 years. Luxury products, quality install. They do great work, and they've been recognized for it for the 4th year in a row. Voted the #1 kitchen and bathroom remodeling company, according to readers of the Tampa Bay Times People's Choice Best of the Best Awards. So give them a call. Tell them I sent you. They will not disappoint you. 813-321-4426. That's 813-321-4426. Or go online. You can get that free consultation, cmkconstructioninc.com. CMK Construction, the kitchen and bath experts. Tell them TKras sent you.
Tampa Bay Sports Radio, 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. From Pinellas Park to Trinity and all around Tampa Bay, plus worldwide on iHeartRadio.
The gloves are off. I'm playing hardball. It's 4th and 15, and you're looking at a full court press.
You're tuned into the voice of the Tampa Bay sports fan.
You're going to like this guy. He's all right. He's a good fella. He's one of us.
Buckle up, because you're on the drive with TKras. Afternoons on 95.3 WDAE and AM 620.
And so you've got an opportunity here.
Carter looks to throw. Plenty of time. Heaving it for the end zone. Has Brown-Stevens. Touchdown. It's a game at Rice Stadium. 35-27. And still 2:25 left.
Unfortunately, that was about as close as USF would get to Rice. They lost 35-28 as Alex Golesh's club finished 6-6, but they are bowl eligible. They are on their way to the Hawaii Bowl, where on Christmas Eve on ESPN at 8 o'clock, they will take on San Jose State. Welcome back. Good afternoon, Tampa Bay. 5:05 on your ride home. The Drive with TKras. Tom Krasnicki with you. Great to have you with us. We'll take you up until 7 o'clock here on WDAE. Your calls and texts coming up. Let It Ride is coming up at the bottom of the hour. We'll keep you updated on the St. Pete City Council in regards to the Rays Stadium bond vote. We'll keep you abreast as what's going on there as we'll take you all the way up until 7 o'clock. But let's talk more about the college football scene. National Signing Day taking place yesterday, the early period. USF getting 25 new recruits under their umbrella, many of them from big-time powerhouse programs from not just here in Florida but around the country. And let's talk to the man right now in the Central Florida Behavioral Health Network DA hotline. Learn more at cfbhn.org. USF head football coach Alex Golesh is back with us here on The Drive. Coach, how's it going?
Man, it's going great. It's going great. Appreciate y'all having me back on.
Listen, I appreciate you coming back on. So a couple of weeks ago, you and I, we went off on a tangent on a number of different topics, and one of which was the kind of kids you're looking for to recruit here. You're just wrapping up year 2 of your program, and you mentioned that you want leaders. You want guys to come in and kind of establish themselves. And look, you want really good football players too. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. But talk to me about the early signing period and the kids that you put under contract here to come over to USF. Are these the kind of players that you envision that we talked about from a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, I mean, this is the first class where we've had 2 years to really go and attack and investigate and research and recruit and build relationships. I feel like last year's class was an awesome one where we had a year to do it. Now you're 2 years in, and this class was recruited off of a proof of concept in terms of an offensive defensive system, the beginnings of a culture. So you were able to point to something. I think anytime you're recruiting, it's certainly easier to point to something and say, man, like that was the beginning. This is where we're going. So that's what this class is. But like you said, really locked in on a certain type of guy, and obviously really good football players, but guys that have leadership ability, guys that are coming from high-end programs and high-end coaches, and guys that want to be a part of what we're building, guys that understand that it's not going to be easy to take this next step to where we're all trying to go.
You recruited and you put a couple of receivers, 3 receivers, also a quarterback from St. Augustine, under contract as part of your recruiting class. And these are guys that have to play fast, and they know and understand that. They must be excited to play in your scheme. Is your scheme one that you found that a lot of these kids want to play in?
Yeah, I think if you're a skill guy, and all you have to do is turn the game on, right? You've got space, you've got quarterbacks that can put the ball in the air, and you've got tempo to put people out of position. I think if you're a big skill guy and you play running back or tight end, same, you got space to run the ball. You got space to work in the middle of the field. And if you play O-line, you watch guys towards the end of a drive, and you see tired guys get to where you want to run the ball in the red zone and be able to go finish drives. I think it's a really fascinating concept that guys are attracted to.
USF head football coach Alex Golesh is with me here on the drive with the early signing period taking place yesterday. All right, on the field, 6-6. You're going to the Hawaii Bowl, and I was just talking with my executive producer Chris Mathis, and he was mentioning to me that you're going to play San Jose State on Christmas Eve on ESPN at 8 o'clock, and I think that's the only bowl game that's on that day. So in terms of exposure and being out there on Christmas Eve, like how excited are you, and how big is that for the program?
Yeah, I think it's huge. We got this offer here early in terms of being able to lock in a spot and go to Hawaii. And you look at when you get an opportunity early like that, you look at the location, the ease of travel, ease of people able to go watch, specifically the players' families, which this was probably the worst one of them, right, in terms of being able to get out there and see them. But the other part of it you look at is beyond the opponent, the exposure you can get. I think a year ago we played on a Thursday night on ESPN. A lot of people watched it. We made some noise. It kind of gave you the momentum going into the offseason that you were looking for from a recruiting side, but also as a program building side. I think you looked at this one, and you're like, man, the location is going to be not great for families to travel, but for our players, these guys that have poured everything they've got into this thing for the last year, to be able to go to Honolulu and experience that for a week. For a lot of I'm 40, I've never experienced that. Mm-hmm. But for a lot of these guys, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be able to go do that. And I thought, man, the ease of travel for the families is not great, but for our players to be able to go experience that together for a week, I don't know if they'll ever be able to do it again. And so I couldn't turn it down. We couldn't turn it down. And then you look at the last part of it, which is the TV slot. You're 8 o'clock on ESPN Eastern on Christmas Eve. I know you're going to have some eggnog. You're going to be sitting there on the couch. You're going to be itching to unwrap presents. And maybe right at kickoff, you'll be able to unwrap one. And that's what we're excited about, is you unwrapping one as you watch kickoff on Christmas Eve with a little bit of eggnog.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to have a little bit of eggnog, a little bit of bourbon perhaps with a cigar, and I'm going to be watching you guys doing your thing out there. I know Christmas Vacation is on constantly on Christmas Eve, and as much as I love that movie, I know you love it too, because you referenced it a couple weeks ago when you were on last. I'm going to have to put that off to the side because you guys are playing. You guys are going to be the only game in town on Christmas Eve, so that should be really exciting and a great experience for everybody.
Yeah, the way you can honor us is you can wear a dickie while you do it. You know what I
mean? Done, Coach. All right. Anything I can do to help you guys out. I want to ask you about the 6-6 season. Some highs, some lows. A lot of fans are asking about Byron Brown. He only played in 5 games, and I can only wonder what it would have been like to have him healthy for the entire season. But just give me your overall assessment on your regular season to this point.
Yeah, ups and downs is exactly what it is, and that's the inconsistency that we've got to go attack this offseason and fix, because the elite teams in college football are consistent, but it's what you see right now in college football in general is who can be consistent and who can be focused week to week. And as we build this thing, that's what you're chasing, is the consistency and a level of performance that's the same every week, which is what's giving you a chance to go be successful. I think the season started off, really, really interesting. We played some tough games early, and we won the games we were supposed to. We played Bama down to the wire. We played Miami for a half. Mm-hmm. You deal with a bunch of things. You deal with a quarterback getting hurt and restarting in a lot of ways there with the new one. You deal with this hurricane where you don't practice for a week and you play a really good team, move a game to Orlando. Like, again, sounds like an excuse, and in some ways it probably is, and that's not what I'm getting at. Just adversity, and elite teams fight through adversity. We couldn't fight through it enough to go win a game. And as we went, I think we got better and better as the year went, as Bryce got settled in offensively. We got better and better. And then the part that I'm probably most disappointed with, to be honest with you, is how we finished. We went to Rice last Saturday and didn't play extremely well in any facet of the game. We're in it at the end to go win it, and we didn't. And that's the part I think we're a week out, almost a week out, and I'm still sick to my stomach. And again, as you're building, as you're trying to find a level of consistency on all three sides of the ball, I am encouraged by the effort. I'm encouraged by our kids' mental toughness. I'm encouraged by the players we've got coming back. I'm encouraged by how we're recruiting. I'm encouraged by the culture in the locker room. But we need a huge offseason, and I've got to sit down here when we get a little bit of time after this bowl game and reassess everything top to bottom, just like I did a year ago, just like I did when I got here, and make the changes you need to make and go attack January head on as we continue to build this thing into something really sustainable.
What kind of changes are you considering at this point? Do you have any general ideas? Are you writing things down, or is this something that you're going to get into more in depth after the bowl game?
Yeah, I think after the bowl game, it will be the first. Right now there's no slowing down. You went right into signing day, right into the portal opening on Monday, right into prep for the bowl game. There's really no time to take a breath. And after the bowl game, you'll have a couple of days before it opens back up, and where you'll have to sit down and just reassess everything. And by changes, I don't mean anything even major at times. Just truly, what areas are we falling short in? Where are we excelling, and how do we get better in the areas we're falling short in, and how do we make the areas we're excelling in even better? And that's everything. That's top to bottom within our program. Obviously, the big picture, easy answer is offense, defense, special teams, but everything from strength to sports performance to sports medicine to academics to recruiting to all of it, you want to sit down and unwrap it and then start putting it back together, make sure you're doing it the exact best way for us to have a successful formula moving forward.
USF head football coach Alex Golesh is with me here on The Drive. USF and San Jose State in the Hawaii Bowl on Christmas Eve, ESPN at 8 o'clock. So don't forget, put it on your calendar. Make sure you check them out on Christmas Eve. And you mentioned the transfer portal. Now, after early signing day yesterday, and you know this, coach, about all these kids that are entering the portal. Everyone's got a story. NIL is certainly going to be a factor. Is there a particular kid that maybe has piqued your interest, or a particular position that you might attack more aggressively through the transfer portal?
I think as we work through our own roster, in terms of as we're meeting with our guys, we started bowl prep today. Bowl practice today, which was awesome to get back out there and get after it. As we've met with our guys and really see, each guy is totally individual in terms of where they are in our program, where they are in their progression, where they are in terms of their playing time. As we work through our own roster, I think you'll be able to answer the latter part of your question as the portal opens on Monday. I think for us, we're looking for a specific type of kid at really any position. I'd love to get guys that are from here that have left and are looking to come back for whatever reason. And by from here, I mean the state of Florida, guys maybe that we've recruited now that you've been here for a couple of years, that we've recruited, maybe went somewhere else for whatever particular reason, maybe a coaching change, maybe a change of scenery, maybe a situation at home, whatever it may be. That's like our starting point. And so we're looking at every position in terms of that we think we need help. But I think there's really two types of transfers. There's positions where you feel like, man, we've got young guys that maybe aren't quite ready, where you want to bring in an older guy. And then we've got guys that, man, we feel really good with where we're at. Is there a young guy out there that maybe left and went up north for a year or a semester and was like, man, it's really, really cold up here.
Right.
And I want to be closer to home. And so, I look at those guys in kind of the same breath as we do high school guys, where they've got 4 years of eligibility or 3 years of eligibility, where they're just looking for a place to get back closer to home. So I think we kind of, again, I think similar to all changes within our program, you kind of unwrap every case as you go through it, and you try to fill either that immediate need, or you maybe there's a guy that's looking to come back that you're working through. You're also working through a bunch of changes with the NCAA in terms of roster sizes and roster limits and scholarships increasing, yet rosters shrinking. So you're trying to combine all of those things into a thought process. And I don't think anybody has a magic formula right now because there's so many unknowns. But we're certainly looking in the portal in terms of adding value to our program. But I think it's truly a case-by-case basis.
And I think you make a great point because there's so much talent, as you know. You've been here for a couple of years in the Tampa Bay area, and kids that go off somewhere else and maybe they don't like it, and they get homesick, right? Because they're kids. Maybe they miss home. Maybe they want to come back closer to home, and maybe you have some intel on some quality athletes, and it doesn't matter what position, right? It's always great to add a quarterback, right? I mean, you're always looking for a quarterback, aren't you?
Well, we feel good with our quarterback room right now. We feel good with where we are. We feel good with the young man we signed in Lachlan Hewlett.
Mm-hmm.
But again, as you work through it, things change, guys' situations change, and so you're potentially going to be looking at one. I think as of today, we feel good with where we are. But gosh, if I had a crystal ball, I'd be doing something else right now. I don't. But we feel really good with where we are and the situation we're in right now.
All right, he's USF head football coach Alex Golesh. They're on their way to the Hawaii Bowl, early signing day. He's getting ready for the transfer portal. You're always constantly on the move, and are you still looking out the window to the on-campus stadium? How are things going out there? Are you bringing those guys some donuts and coffee or what?
Staring at it, I'm actually going to go rip somebody's ass here because I haven't seen much movement today. So it's a good reminder. I appreciate you there.
All right. Well, I'm sorry that you got to go kick somebody's ass, but I just wanted to, put that out there for you.
Rip somebody's ass. You're not going to get me in trouble on that one.
Coach, I appreciate a couple minutes. If I don't get to talk to you, we might talk next week. I don't know, but if I don't get to talk to you before the bowl game, have a very Merry Christmas, and we appreciate you joining us always.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You got it.
You as well.
You got it. Thank you. Coach Golesh from USF. I just got somebody in trouble. I got to go rip somebody's ass because I don't see any work being done. Oh, gosh.
That is pretty. You know what? I love how genuine he is. That's exactly what he was thinking. He was just willing to tell you right here in front of thousands of listeners.
Thousands.
Thousands upon thousands.
Oh, we got some breaking news.
Oh, yeah, we do.
This is big.
Oh, this is very big.
This is big.
I forwarded it to you, by the way, on Twitter. Yeah, very, very big.
All right, so we have some breaking news. And we don't have a breaking news sounder anymore.
Dun-da-da!
Dun-da-da-da.
Should we hang on to break the news?
No, we're going to break it right now.
Oh, okay.
I don't want people to wait because we're going to come back to expound on it. We have Let It Ride coming up in a matter of moments. But the St. Pete City Council has approved the Rays Stadium bonds by a vote of 4-3. So the City Council has approved the Rays Stadium bonds by a vote of 4-3. And now, Pinellas County Commission, you're up next on December the 17th. One down, one to go. Now, we've been down this road before. What does that mean? Is the county commission going to hold this thing up? One down, one to go. I think the mayor, Ken Welch, was a driving force behind the council putting this thing on the agenda, and now it has passed by a vote of 4-3. So that's the big news coming out of downtown St. Pete at the city council meeting. They have approved the Rays Stadium bond vote by a 4-3 margin. All right, you guys can opine at 888-546-4620. Text at 82945. All right, coming up, there's a big Thursday night game tonight. The Lightning are in action tonight, although they're down one of their superstars. We're going to be placing some action. I think I'm going to have a parlay going tonight as well. A little Let It Ride action, baby. And it's coming up next year on The Drive. Don't move.
locked in to The Drive with TKras.
It is The Drive and is presented by my guy, Brad Meredith, who's listening right now. The great people over at Moss Nissan, where their goal is to never lose your business over price. They're doing some great things over there because the holidays are here. And guess what? Moss Nissan is doing whatever it takes, Chris Mathis, to make this season unforgettable with your shot at up to $5,000 in holiday cash. Tell them about it.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Tom. Here is the game plan, Tampa Bay. Go visit any of those 3 Moss Nissan locations. Pick out a new or even a pre-owned Moss Nissan vehicle, and once the deal is done, go grab an envelope from their holiday tree. I believe they also had some beautiful Christmas music there a couple of weeks ago when you were there for the live remote, right?
Yes.
Okay.
They had the beautiful tree up in the showroom. They had
Hot
Christmas
chocolate,
music.
right?
They had some hot chocolate, which was fantastic.
Man. And I just texted Brad Meredith, who says that National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is his #1 Christmas movie, and Mary, Did You Know is his favorite Christmas song.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yeah. But anyway, what else you got there far as this money's concerned?
Well, inside those envelopes, and I didn't get an envelope. I got one with a pink slip inside it. Inside the envelope over at Moss Nissan, you can score anywhere from $500 to $5,000 in holiday cash. And with over $30,000 on the line, Moss Nissan is bringing that holiday magic.
So don't miss your chance to win up to $5,000 in holiday cash. Head to Moss Nissan today.
And they've got 3 locations, North Tampa, Newport Richie, or Brooksville. Or you can check them out online at mossnissan.com. That's mossnissan.com. Moss Nissan doing whatever it takes to make your holidays epic. Merry Christmas! Oh, and we got something else to tell you about. I got to tell you about my guys over at Catania. And Catania, guys, if you're out there on the roadways, just be careful because, as I found out, an injury accident can strike anywhere at any time. So exercise caution, and if you or someone you love happens to be the victim of an injury accident, do what I did. Call my guys over at Catania and Catania, the personal injury law firm that's been doing their thing here in Tampa Bay for the last 30 years. They don't get paid unless you get paid. They've been getting a lot of money for their clients, though. Almost $1 billion has been successfully recovered by my guys over the years for injury victims just like you. So give them a call. Tell them I sent you. Catania and Catania is where it's at. 813-222-8545. That's 813-222-8545. Or get a free evaluation of your case online at CataniaandCatania.com, where they put families first. Office Tampa. I'm not an attorney spokesman.
WDAE.
Traffic update.
This report is sponsored.
All right, welcome back. 5:32 on your ride home. The Drive with yours truly, Tom Krasnicki. Great to have you with us on a lovely Thursday. Good news, breaking news. In case you're just joining us, you're getting into your car. Hope you had a great day at work. You're almost there, almost at the end of the week. The St. Pete City Council has approved the Rays Stadium bond situation by a vote of 4-3. So that coming down in the last few minutes. They approve it. All it takes was like a simple majority. And now we get to the next phase. The Pinellas County Commission, that's going to be a tougher nut to crack because of the new members and Chris Latvala, who was on this show a couple of weeks ago. He says he loves baseball, but he hates this deal. There's got to be a way that we can change his mind. But now it's up to him. And here's the only thing I will say to this. I don't think you want to be the person or persons that kills baseball in Tampa Bay, because that's basically what this vote's going to come down to. And I don't think the Rays are completely done, but I think we've gotten a second chance at this. A couple of weeks ago, it looks like it was dead and buried. And now you've gotten a reprieve. Baseball in Tampa Bay has new life. One vote down, one more to go. Pinellas County Commission, I know you have some questions about this. You're going to be able to restore the beaches. You'll get some federal help. If you want, me and Mathis will go out to some of those beaches and we'll kick up some sand. Whatever you need to do, okay? We'll do it. But we need to keep baseball here in Tampa Bay. That's all I'm saying. Let's go. Let's gamble.
I'll bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day.
It's $500.
Yes, it is. Are you a dealer or an investment counselor?
I will splash the pot whenever the heck I please.
Good luck, sir. Yeah, give me 5 times a piece on St. Louis, Minnesota, and Baltimore.
Let it ride on 13.
Yeah. Look at this butte they brought in. Yeah, how the hell can you grin? Yeah. Give yourself a smack right across the mouth. All right, it is time to play some bets. There's some big games tonight. Lightning are in action tonight. Big Thursday night game tonight. It is Let It Ride, presented by my guy, Dr. Jim DeRespino, and the great people over at the Center for Men's Health. Guys, I urge you to get there at C4MH.com. Somebody via the text platform was asking yesterday about it. Yes, it does work. C4MH.com. Get there. And here's your pit boss. He doesn't look like Don Rickles. It's Chris Mathis.
I am here. Speaking of getting there, I am here. Your Tampa Bay Lightning will host the San Jose Sharks.
Good for Kucherov!
Unfortunately, he's hurt.
But yeah, he's not playing.
No, sir.
The over-under tonight, 6 goals, and your Lightning 1.5 goal favorites here at Amalie Arena.
No Kucherov. Even without Kucherov, I like the Lightning tonight in this one. Who are they playing? The
Guppies?
The Swordfish? Best swordfish in the city, Jerry. The best. I'll have the salmon. Look, San Jose, they were one of the worst teams in the league last year. They've shown some improvement this year. They've actually won 3 in a row, but their win streak stops tonight at Amalie. I'll take the Lightning and the over, by the way.
How about this? Over under 0.5 goal for Anthony Cirelli tonight.
I'm going to go under on that. I think actually Hagel's the one that scores.
Okay, and with Hagel, over under 1.5 points tonight.
1.5 points. I'll go over.
Taking the over.
I'll say a goal and an assist for Brandon Hagel.
All right, I like it. There are your plays tonight for your Tampa Bay Lightning. Little Thursday night football action as the Lions will take on the Green Bay Packers there as the Cheeseheads will try to invade Detroit. The Lions 3.5-point favorites. The over-under 51.5.
I love this matchup. I can't wait until toe meets leather tonight at Ford Field, where the Buccaneers won back in week 2, and since then the Detroit Lions have not lost a football game. I like the Packers in this game. I think the Lions are all banged up. I think you're going to see a lot of points tonight. I'm taking the Packers. I think Josh Jacobs is going to have some running room. Normally, the Lions are pretty good against the run, but like their entire linebacking unit, with the exception of Zadarius Smith, I mean, they're out of commission. 13 defenders on injured reserve. So I think the Packers will stick around. Maybe the Lions win this game, but 3 and a hook, right? 3.5?
Yeah, 3.5.
I'm going to take the Packers plus 3.5. I'm going over on this game. I think you're going to see a lot of fireworks tonight. Very entertaining game tonight.
Blue 42. Blue 42. Is that it? All right, how about Jared Goff tonight? You talk about the ground game.
He's a bum.
Over under. No, he's actually really good at home. Over under 254.5 passing yards for Mr. Goff.
I'm going over. And, he's got the weapons. I think Sam Laporta, who caught 2 touchdowns last week on Thanksgiving, I think he's going to become more of a factor offensively, along with Amon-Ra St. Brown. They like to throw it to Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield. I think it's a shootout, so I'm going over on that number for Jared Goff.
All right, and Jordan Love, his passing yards over-under set at 253.5.
He's going over on that, too. In order to keep up with the Lions, you've got to score 30 points. And I think Josh Jacobs will be a part of the game plan, both as a runner and as a receiver. I think Christian Watson catches a big one down the field. Tucker Kraft is underrated. Jaden Reed. Plenty of weapons for Jordan Love. I think he'll have time to throw. I think he goes over on that number. I think he has a big game.
Now, Amon-Ra St. Brown over under 6.5 catches and 70.5 receiving yards.
I think under on the catches, although I'm not entirely confident on that. I definitely believe over on the yards, though.
All right, so write that down. You just mentioned Jaden Reed, over under 58.5 receiving yards for Mr. Reed.
Over. He's the number one receiver. I think Jordan Love will look to him early and often. I love how they get him the football. They put him in motion. They throw bubble screens to him. He runs every single route in the route tree. He's got good hands, good run after the catch ability. He's underrated.
And his over-under tonight via the Hard Rock Bet app is 4.5 catches. How do you feel about that?
I feel over on that one.
Taking the over on receiving yards and catches for Reed. How about Josh Jacobs, over under 70.5 rushing yards for the Packer running back?
I think he goes under the rushing yards number. I think he falls into the end zone. I think he has like 55, 60 yards rushing. You probably have 3 catches out of the backfield, but I think they hold him under that rushing yards total. I think you're going to see a lot of throwing happening tonight.
And constructing a W earlier today, we talked about the ground game for both sides. I mentioned the dual-headed monster there in the backfield for the Lions. Over under 67.5 rushing yards for Jahmyr Gibbs, a guy who exposed some play calls on social media late last week.
Yeah, I don't think Dan
what
Campbell's too happy about that. I think he had a talk with him.
Are you professional or not?
Yeah, not.
Is that a problem?
Yes, that's a problem because everyone can see on the whiteboard behind you exactly what you're doing. So I think they had a talk with Jahmyr Gibbs about that. And look, he needs 27 yards for 1,000. I think he gets that 27 yards and then some. He's a dynamic running back. He reminds me of like Marshall Falkish. He's not as big, he's not as strong, but he's definitely quick, elusive, he's versatile. I love him as a player.
Now, a different running back, same team, also a different runner, 58.5 rushing yards for David Montgomery.
I think this is more of a Gibbs game and less of a Montgomery game, so I'm going to go under. And look, he's banged up as well, so he's got some injuries too. I'm going under on David Montgomery's rushing yards.
Now, you talk about a lot of points being scored here tonight on Thursday Night Football. Kickers and kicking situation across the league has been filled with a lot of doinks. Over under 1.5 field goals made for Jake Bates and Brandon McManus individually.
I think I'm going over. Jake Bates was named the Special Teams Player of the Month. I have him. My 2 other fantasy leagues, Jake Bates is my kicker. So I think he's extraordinary. He missed one last week, though.
Yeah, there you go. That's better.
So I think I'm going over on Bates, and I think McManus makes 2 field goals, too. I'm going over there as well.
All right, little college football to round out. Let it ride here on the drive. Number 5, Georgia takes on number 2, Texas. This game is in Atlanta for the SEC Championship. Over under 49.5 points. The Longhorns a 2.5-point favorite there in the Peach State.
I'm taking Texas. I just think they're a better all-around team than Georgia at this point, and Carson Beck's going to have to prove it against Texas again. And I'm going to go under on the point total. I think Georgia's defense plays reasonably well, but I just think Texas has a little too much talent on both sides of the ball. I'm going to take the Longhorns and I'm going to go under.
How about the number 1 ranked Oregon Ducks taking on number 3 Penn State in Indianapolis for the Big Ten title game? Over-under in this one on Saturday is 50 points. Oregon, a 3.5-point favorite.
I'm taking Oregon. I will lay the 3.5. I'm just not a big believer in Penn State in a big game like this, a conference title game. Really, James Franklin? I don't think so. Give me Oregon.
James Franklin. All right, number 17, Clemson. The Tigers take on number 8, SMU in the ACC Championship. The Mustangs are a 2.5-point favorite. The over-under in this one's the highest of these 3 college football games this weekend, 55.5 points.
I think this one goes under as well. I kind of like SMU here. And a lot of people have been overlooking them, but when you look up at the end of the day, undefeated in the ACC, I know it hasn't been all that great this year. They're 11-1 overall. They can put some points up on the board. I'm going to take SMU. I'm going to give the points, and I'm going to go under on the point total.
If you did not write that down with a pen, Tampa Bay, go listen back to this podcasted segment on the free iHeartRadio app and have your chance to win some cheddar.
By the way, I know the over-under is a big number, but the temperature for the game in Charlotte will be in the 30s on Saturday night. So I don't think scoring will be as prevalent in that game. So that's why I'm going under, and I'm taking SMU.
All right, there you have it, Tampa Bay. That is Let It Ride here on the Thursday edition of The Drive.
By the way, as a bonus pick, I'm going to take my guy Rocco Beck. Rocco Beck and Iowa State to beat Arizona State in the Big 12 championship game, and that will put Iowa State in the college football playoff in place of Miami. Miami, I'm telling you, and we talked to Dwight Freeney earlier today, who, by the way, was giddy about his alma mater, the Syracuse Orange, coming back from a 21-0 deficit to stun Miami last weekend. I don't want to hear a peep from Canes fans. I know a lot of you listen to the show. Sorry, you blew it, okay? You beat Syracuse. You got no problems at all. But you blew a 21-0 lead. I'm sorry. They don't deserve to be in the playoff. Their resume's not as good. I know they're trying to compare themselves to Alabama. Sorry. Don't blow leads like that. They lost 2 of their last 3 to unranked teams. They did not look impressive. It's not how you start necessarily. It's how you finish. All right, coming up, in case you missed it from earlier, Buccaneer talk. There's a lot of injuries. There's some big-name players for the Buccaneers. Bucky Irving, Mike Evans, Tristan Wirfs. We'll get injury updates on those guys with Rick Stroud of the Tampa Bay Times and TampaBay.com. That's coming up at 6:05. When we come back, more on the breaking news regarding the Rays. Good news there. We'll also let you know what's on tonight. And Bill Belichick has a job interview. We'll tell you where next here on The Drive.
You're locked in to The Drive with TKras.
Guys, as we come toward the end of the year, maybe your New Year's resolution might be, let's redo the kitchen or your bathroom. We've certainly been through a lot this year with a couple of hurricanes that came through, and a lot of you might be looking to maybe reconstruct or remodel or touch up your kitchen or your bathroom. If you're looking to do it, you got to call on my guys over at CMK Construction, the kitchen and bath experts. They will help you consult, design, or build the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. You get a free consultation with them. I'll give you the number in a matter of moments. Family-owned and operated. They've been at it more than 20 years. They do luxury, high-end work. Great work, by the way. CMKConstructionInc.com. Go there, and you'll see examples of the kind of jobs and work that they do. And they've been recognized for it as well. Voted the #1 kitchen and bathroom remodeling company, according to readers of the Tampa Bay Times, People's Choice Best of the Best Awards. So give them a call. Tell them I sent you. CMK Construction is where it's at. 813-321-4426. That's 813-321-4426. Or hit them up online, CMKConstructionInc.com. CMK Construction, they are the kitchen and bath experts. And guys, whether it's an injury, accident, product liability, or medical malpractice, if you or someone you love happens to be the victim of any of those unfortunate incidents, you got to protect your rights. How do you do that? You call on my guys over at Catania & Catania, the personal injury law firm that's been doing their thing the last 30 years here in Tampa Bay. I trust them. They're representing me after the mishap that I had, which I was a victim of, by the way. More details on that maybe a little bit later on down the line. But give them a call. Tell them I sent you. They work on a contingency, which means they don't get paid unless you get paid. 813-222-8545. That's 813-222-8545. Or get a free evaluation of your case online at Catania and Catania.com, where they put families first. Office Tampa, not attorney spokesman.
WDAE.
Traffic update.
On 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. What's on tonight with The Drive with TKras?
Yes, sir, and it's brought to you by our guy, John Howard, and his amazing team at HowardTeamHomeLoans.com. Here's our guy, Chris Mathis.
We just heard the infamous Kevin Cash drop, but he is no Rays baseball on tonight. We did have good news earlier regarding the Rays, which we'll touch back up on here momentarily. Your Tampa Bay Lightning will host the San Jose Sharks at 7 o'clock tonight. Hopefully it is no laughing matter as the Bolts will prevail in this one at home. Then Thursday night football action, the Green Bay Packers take on the Detroit Lions there in the Motor City. 8:15 kickoff on Amazon Prime tonight. Amazon Prime, that's right, you got it. Thursday night football, but total weather, as the great Gene Deckerhoff might say. And then any and every hour and podcasted segment, feature, interview, all up for podcast on the free iHeartRadio app. Search up The Drive.
I despise him.
Well, I don't know how much you have to hate a person to execute 34,000 downloads last month alone. I couldn't believe when you told me that today. That's got to be a fake number.
34,000. No, that is a real number, man. It is real. It's authentic.
Wow.
It's been approved.
It's outstanding.
It's got the stamp of approval.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm glad you are. I'm glad somebody's excited around here, Coach. Speaking of Coach Bowles and the Buccaneers, Rick Stroud on the other side of 6 o'clock. Injury updates on Mike Evans, Tristan Wirfs, Bucky Irving, Buccaneers and the Raiders Sunday at 1 o'clock. So a couple of items to close out this 5 o'clock hour. In case you're just joining us, the big news is that the St. Pete City Council has approved the bonds for the Rays Stadium project as part of the gas plant district redevelopment program and plan. 4-3 was the vote in favor. So it has been approved. It has passed. And now it's up to the Pinellas County Commission. December the 17th, 12 days from now, that's when they will meet and they will vote. That's going to be tougher. Because you got a couple of guys who got voted into the commission that, they've got some questions about the deal. Of course, Chris Latvala, who was on this program a couple of weeks ago, he likes the Rays, he said, but he goes, the deal, you know what? Baseball is good for everybody. You got to put some of the past differences aside. The Rays weren't going to play at Baycare. Come on. Don't let that influence your vote. I think that's petty. It's petty. The Rays had no choice. They had to do the right thing for their players, for their organization. Steinbrenner Field was the only viable, best option available to the Rays from a facility standpoint, 11,000 capacity as opposed to 8,000. So that would be my only, piece of advice. I don't like politics. I don't like talking about it. I don't quite understand it all the way. I just think that there's a lot of grandstanding. You're trying to cater to a certain different audience, crowd approval, if you will. I'm just trying to be objective. Baseball's good for everybody. You want to restore the beaches? Let's get the federal government involved, and they can help out. If not, me and Chris Mathis will go out there and we'll do some things along the beach. Pick up and clean up along the beaches.
Just don't ask me to show up for sunrise. There's a good chance I'm going to
that's when the sun sets on that side, Chris Mathis.
Man. When we walked onto the beach, we felt the sun beating on our backs. We're like, what is going on? Yeah, not very good.
Not very good, man.
No, not
I'd
at
give
this
you an
time.
education on geography. Not at this time.
We'll save that for after the show, maybe, Tom.
Well, I'll say this. The other piece of breaking news is that Bill Belichick interviewed today for the head coaching vacancy at the University of North Carolina.
Is that because his girlfriend is enrolled there?
Come on, man.
Or I don't know, man.
No. You insulted him a little bit.
You get a little out of order yourself.
Yeah, I'm done. But there are some people that are speculating that that's not the case.
Listen. He's interviewing there and maybe he's just brushing up on his interviewing skills. But I think this is, more than anything else, Bill Belichick getting his name out there. He doesn't want to end up in college football. No way. Transfer portal. You just heard Alex Golesh talk about the transfer portal and early signing day and everything else. There's a lot to consider when you're a college football head coach. Bill Belichick's too old for that. There's no way he takes a college job. All right, 3 hours are in the book. Speaking of football, Bill Belichick wants to get back in the NFL. Todd Bowles is the head coach of the Buccaneers in the NFL. He's got 5 big games left. The Raiders come in on Sunday. It's a game that the Buccaneers should win. But how healthy are they? And what about incorporating yet another punter who has never punted before, by the way, and he's about to make his first NFL punt in a big game Sunday against the Raiders? We'll talk all things Bucs with Rick Stroud, Tampa Bay Times, TampaBay.com. That is coming up next.
You're locked in to The Drive with TKras.
We talked to Julie Weintraub from the Gold and Diamond Source. The holiday season is here, guys, and if you're looking for that perfect gift for the wife or the girlfriend, if you're looking to pop the big question perhaps, there's only one place to go. That's the Gold and Diamond Source, where you can make her jaw drop. That's what they do. They've got the perfect piece to show her that she's one of a kind. And if you're looking for a gift that says forever, find stunning engagement rings, diamond bracelets, and much more at the Gold and Diamond Source, because she deserves the best. And don't settle for anything less than perfection. At the Gold and Diamond Source, we make it easy to give a gift that she will never forget. The Gold and Diamond Source experts have the perfect gift for everyone without dealing with all of that mall madness. From statement necklaces to elegant diamond earrings, the Gold and Diamond Source is the only place to shop for that gift of a lifetime. So you can finance your purchase, by the way, with 0% interest for up to 5 years. You get a $5,000 diamond for only $84 a month. So visit the Gold and Diamond Source today, for the holiday shopping experience of a lifetime, where you'll always find the perfect gift. They're at 3800 Omerton Road in Clearwater. Always online at goldendiamond.com. Let them know that your boy Tom Krasnicki sent you. We'll be back.
Now betting. Tampa Bay Sports Radio 95.